Okay, so very good morning to one and all. So in today's session, we are going to discussing about what is the definition of the data warehouse and what are the different types we have and what are the components of that data warehouse and what is the data warehouse architecture and then what is the database design and then what is the OLAP, that is nothing but online application processing OLAP data and then metadata repository. Okay, so coming to the definition, that is the OLTP versus data warehousing. So before we are going to discussing about the differences in between the OLTP versus the data warehousing. So first we need to know what is a data warehouse. Okay, so coming to the basic definition of your data warehouse. A data warehouse is nothing but it is a subject oriented, integrated, time variant and non-volatile collection of data in support of management's decision making process. Okay, so it means, so here, so a data warehouse, it is nothing but it is a subject oriented, integrated, time variant and non-volatile collection of data in support of management's decision making process. So it means, so first, so according to the definition of a data warehouse, so here first we need to know what is the subject oriented and what is the integrated and what is the meaning of time variant and what is the meaning of non-volatile collection here. So coming to the first one, that is nothing but the subject oriented. So what do you mean by a data warehouse is a subject oriented one? So it means, so a subject oriented in the sense, so generally a data warehouse is organized around the major subjects such as, so for example, such as the customer, supplier, product and sales. Okay, rather than concentrating on the day-to-day operations and the transaction processing of an organization, a data warehouse can focuses on the modeling and the analysis of the data for decision makers. So it means, so generally the data warehouse is going to be organized around the major subjects such as the customer, supplier, product and sales, so and etc. So for example, if we take a e-commerce website, right? So e-commerce website in the sense, for example, if a customer wants to order something. Okay, customer wants to order something. So if a customer orders something, then what it will do, so the customer is going to select some product and that product is going to be added into the cart and that is going to be ordered by the particular customer. Then what it will do, so that order can be delivered to the particular customer with the help of suppliers and with the help of the couriers and with the help of the particular enterprises and all. Okay, so it means, so the subject oriented in the sense of the data warehouse. Okay, so the data warehouse is, it is a collection of subject oriented data. Okay, subject oriented thing. So it means, so the subject oriented is, for example, if we take a company, okay, or if we take a e-commerce website, so where we can have the customers, okay, or the suppliers and products will be there and the sales will be there and delivery is also there. Okay, so the likewise there is a subject oriented data should be there. Okay, subject oriented data should be there. So why should we go for those subjects? Because so here we are rather than concentrating on the day-to-day operations and the transaction processing of an organization, a data warehouse can majorly focuses on the modeling and the analysis of data for the decision makers. Okay, so with for the usefulness of the decision makers only, so the data that is going to be placed within your data warehouse is the subject oriented here. So the next one is, so the next term what we have used within the definition of the data warehouse is nothing but it is the integrated one. So integrated in the sense, so integrated in the sense integrity, that is nothing but the correcting, right? So a data warehouse, so integrated in the sense a data warehouse is usually constructed, okay, usually constructed by integrating multiple heterogeneous sources such as the relational databases, flat files and online transaction records and all. Because why? Because generally so we can collect the data from the multiple sources and that data, whatever the data that is collected from the multiple sources is going to be integrated first. So after the integration only we have to work with that data, because so some data will be coming from the relational databases and some data will be coming from the flat files and some data will be coming from the online transaction records. So it means, so the data will be coming from the different kinds of databases and that database, because it means, so we can collect or we can constructing that data warehouse from the multiple or the heterogeneous sources, so that what it will do, so generally, so one kind of systems or the one kind of application will be used one kind of data, and another kind of applications will be used another kind of data, because so we are going to collecting the data from the different databases with the help of the different applications. So first we need to integrate that data. So okay, so in order to construct the data warehouse, so the second one what we have used within the definition is, that is the integrated. Okay, so the data warehousing should be integrated first. So the third one is nothing but that is the time variant. It means, so whatever the data that is going to be placed within your data warehouse should be historic. It means, so the data are stored to provide the information from the historical perspective. For example, so the past 5 to 10 years of data should be there. Okay, it means, so the every key structure in the data warehouse can either implicitly or explicitly an element of time here. Okay, an element of time here. So it means so generally, so the time variant in the sense, so actually, so some people will be asked the data. Okay, for example, within the 2020 I am going to store some data within my data warehouse. Okay, so at the time of 2020 I need some data. From the data what I have stored previously. Okay, so during that time also, so the data warehouse is responsible for providing that kind of longly stored data. It means, so that should be time variant. So it means, so historical perspective of data can be stored within your data warehouse. So that is the third one, that is the third keyword what we have used within your data warehouse. And the fourth one is nothing but the non-volatile. So let me see what is the meaning of this non-volatile. Okay, so the non-volatile in the sense, for example, a data warehouse is always a physically separate store of data that is transformed from the application data found in the operational elements. Due to this, data warehouse does not require transactional processing, recovery, and the concurrency. So it means, so the control mechanisms. Okay, the control mechanisms, so it usually requires only the two operations in the data accessing, that is nothing but the initial loading of the data and the accessing of the data. It means, so the non-volatile in the sense, the data what we have stored within your data warehouse should not be volatile, should not be temporary. Okay, it should be permanent. It should not be volatile. Okay, non-volatile in the sense, it should be permanently saved within your data warehouse. So that is why, so within the definition of your data warehouse, so we are going to use these four keywords. That is, a data warehouse should be, it is a subject oriented one, and it is a integrated one, and it is a time oriented one, and it is a non-volatile collection of the data in support of management's decision making process here. Okay, so that is about the definition of a data warehouse. Okay, so next, coming to the next point, so it is the process whereby organizations extract value from their informational assets through use of special stores called the data warehouses. Okay, so it is the process where by organization extract the value from their informational assets through the use of the special stores called the data warehouses data warehouses here. So generally, coming to the types of that one, so here we are having the operational data store, that is the operational data mirror, for example item in the stock, and where we are having the enterprise data warehouse. So that it means, so enterprise in the sense, so the historical data is going to be stored within that for the purpose of the historical analysis, and the next one is the complex pattern analysis here. Okay, so the operational data store in the sense, operational data mirror, example item in the stock, and the enterprise data warehouse in the sense, historical analysis, that is the complex pattern analysis, and next one is the data mart. So the data mart in the sense, so the data marts are nothing but they are the small things. Okay, that is so the data marts are nothing but they are the data about the data is going to be stored within those data marts only. Okay, so it means, so the data marts in the sense here actually it is actually, so it is the sub part of the data warehouse. So the data mart is nothing but it is the sub or some part of your data warehouse. It means, so generally we can call this data mart is nothing but it is a physical representation of the your data warehouse. Okay, Data mart is nothing but the physical representation of your data warehouse. So next, coming to the uses of a data warehouse. So generally, so the coming to the applications or the uses of this data warehouse. So it is used for the presentation of standard reports and the graphs, and it is also used for the dimensional analysis, and this is also used for the data mining. It means, so we are going to mine something. So the process of extracting the data from the large amounts of data is nothing but that is the data mining. So in order to do the data mining also, we can take the help of the data warehouses. Okay, so for the dimensional analysis and for the presentation of the standard reports and the graphs for the different uses. Okay, and for the data mining also we will use this data warehouses.